really interesting new info from 12.0.7 as we discover 2 new planets that we had never seen in this state. These were previously Legion strongholds that we did visit that are now completely rebuilt, and we got some really crazy stuff happening here. On one, there's scavenging Legion tech and mysterious ethereals are farming arcane and leylines, and on the other, the domanaar are subjugating the actual devourers from the Shadowlands, which seems like a really big deal, especially with recent Shadowlands stuff. To top it off, Blizzard also recently did a whole new planet we had never seen where friendly demons actually exist. So far, they really seem to be pushing the Burning Legion with all these various hints: the failed invasion before midnight on the Broken Isles, now visiting their former bases, seeing their abandoned technology. Let's take a look at this brand new content and what is going on in 12.0.7. Wait, did you just catch that? That was otehr, saving you time even with ads. If you use my code TANSCAPE, you will get 10% of the best WoW coaching, saving you time. Use code TANSCAPE for every single order. So, if you guys noticed, recently Blizzard really started pushing new planets and planets other than Azeroth, which honestly I think is like this subtle setup, as they really need to have something to do after the World Soul Saga, so they're kinda setting up the ground slowly. First we got Naigtal, which is legit a new planet, and I think very likely potential new content, as there we got Draenei that were left behind by Velen, and they evolved their own culture on this really dangerous planet with these giant intelligent beasts. Even crazier is that on Naigtal, Burning Legion deserters settled and they became friendly demons living in good relations with these Draenei, and this planet is apparently still around, it's not destroyed like the others, so realistically this could very likely be future content. Now in 12.0.7, just a few days back we discovered 2 new planets that are not brand new, but they actually changed them up quite a bit. These are planets from Legion that have now become new content for 12.0.7, and before people start saying that Blizzard is just recycling Legion content, it's actually not that way at all. So 2 planets known as Naigtal and Val were content from Argus, which were essentially like these scenarios of going to the other bases that the Burning Legion has, but right now this is not actually a new scenario, but these are like open world phases, like pretty legit new zones, and they made some serious changes. We are going here from the Void Storm, and on one we are following this very dangerous ethereal group that are stealing the leylines, and on the other the domanaar, which are these super powerful void beings. So if you've seen this, this is lore from about 2 weeks back, but we just discovered these new Hal Hadar ethereals, which are related to the Shadow God and Salt Hadar, but they're a lot more mysterious and barely anyone has heard of these guys. While the traitor Shadow God void ethereals that served Dimensius were like the military, the Hal Hadar originally used to be like the research division who later turned to like secret missions and like became assassins. They're a very dangerous, mysterious and powerful group. Now, recently they became active in the Void Assaults, and not only did they establish holds on isolated worlds, but they actually have an interest in Azeroth's leylines, and they seem to be looking for fuel for some reason. They're involved with both Tenaga, which seem to be working on something with Queen Ashara, and they're also involved with the Twilight's Blade. They seem to be digging up Kitix in Zulaban. This is very important because if you remember recently we learned that leylines are crazy important, and that is the whole reason Zelda even attacked the Sunwell in the first place, so that they could use the leylines to reach the world soul of Azeroth. Now, these ethereals are gathering fuel, who knows what is going on, but I digress. Let's actually cover the planets themselves. So Naigtal is actually super interesting, and despite this being Legion content, they literally completely changed the planet, like completely brand new assets, completely different layout than what it was in the day. Back in the day, this was one of the invasion points accessible from Argus. It was a planet that was essentially destroyed, like Legion took over this planet, repurposed it for a mysterious purpose that we still don't know. This is a nighttime world of like these giant mushrooms, kind of similar to Zangarmarsh from Outland actually, and interestingly enough, like this one guy called Surgeon Crush, one of the Maldraxi gladiators from the Shadowlands, came from this planet while it was still around. Legion records state that the former denizens called it Naigtal, but from new dialogue we learned that it is a big mystery what exactly is special about this planet, because it's not obvious on first glance, and obviously the Legion and the ethereals really want something from this place. As we get in there, we see heavy fog, plumes of arcane energy, just like the stench of the burning mana. We quickly discover that these Hal Hadar ethereals have established a mana forged, and they're not only stealing some sort of a power source from this planet, but apparently they're also scavenging for Legion technology, which does kinda seem like a really big deal when combined with other hints. Now, not everything is fully here yet, but it is apparently like something special is going on, and we still don't know for what purpose the ethereals are gathering this fuel, but obviously something is going on with this planet because both the Legion and these guys came here to farm something. Seeing that they got operations on Azeroth as well and spread across these planets, I'm guessing some sort of channeling of energy is going to happen, which is going to be relevant to the World Soul Saga and the entire Zealothet ordeal. Now, to not speculate further, we have another planet called Val, which is also a former Legion world that you might remember from about a decade back. As we learned, this is a completely frozen world, and this is a world that fell to the Burning Legion a really long time ago. There isn't much written knowledge of what it used to be like, but we know demons had conquered it. This planet is also completely different from what we saw in Legion, despite the name being the same, but here we're actually following the Domanaar, which are doing some crazy things. Now, this planet is specific in the fact that the Legion was not exactly a fan of this world even when they controlled it. It was just like a prison planet for them, but the world is so cold that without the right protection you're gone in just a few seconds. But the planet overall, I mean, it is very dangerous. It is capable of tearing through Legion ships, which is why they never liked coming here in the first place. The main purpose of this planet was essentially for interrogation of prisoners due to the harsh conditions, and back in Legion we were actually sent here on orders of Illidan to free the frozen Illidari. Now, the Domanaar Imperator has claimed this isolated world as the Legion is no longer here, and if you may remember, the Domanaar are like the second most powerful beings of the Void right now, not counting Zealothet. What we do find really interesting here is that they have subjugated devourers, which is really interesting turn of events if you remember older speculations. These are beasts from like the farthest reaches of the Shadowlands that feed on anima and energy. There used to be a big theory on who they could be, but seeing that the Domanaar managed to subjugate these Shadowlands beings, I feel like that further plays into the entire Shadowlands is a titan construct that Sylvanas will soon expose. Still, we don't yet have the complete story of what is going on the planet of Val. Now, on both of these planets though, I feel like Blizzard is really starting to slowly push more Legion stuff. Like certain demons tried to invade again in the Midnight prequel in the book, and we learned that the Legion is still around, and now we're visiting their former bases. We're learning about friendly demons on Ashabor. There have just been so many of these Burning Legion and demon hints, which really makes me believe that they could be setting up something with them in the future. Now, at first glance, this does seem like filler content, but based on the Ashabor lore, I feel like it is foreshadowing for future content that we are going to see. If you remember back around Legion, Blizzard was really pushing the narrative that not many planets are left in the universe. We could be amongst the last like survivors of the entire universe. Now they're building all this lore for the outside world, like the world outside of Azeroth. Like there was this planet destroying Hyde from the Void Storm, then these two planets that were destroyed but still exist, and then Ashabor, which is a legit planet still around. I think this is just a part of the entire narrative where they plan to seed some potential new content for the future, and it kind of goes to show that this entire thing is like much bigger than Azeroth. Like the entire universe is currently coming down on us, and it's not going to be pretty. Thank you for watching. Check out the new leaks on Classic Plus actually coming by clicking on the screen, and subscribe to my brand new Witcher Lore channel by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time!